Okay, guys, welcome back. Single variable linear equation. This is Unit 4. I am Glenford Dawson. Let's talk about what you're going to be learning in this unit. We're going to tackle how to handle inequalities. There is a special case when we're handling inequalities as it pertains to dividing by negative numbers. We're going to deal with that as well. We're going to learn how to interpret the solutions to these problems. So here we go. So remember now, an equation normally has an equal sign, but in this case, we have a less than sign. So you have the inequalities. You have the less than, you have the less than and equal to, you have the greater than, you have the greater than and equal to. Okay, so remember now, these are inequalities. But we're going to handle this the same way with the exception of one situation. For now, let's handle it the same way. What we have here is we have a constant on the same side with a variable. So what are we going to do? We're going to transpose that, which means we're going to take it on the other side, and it's going to change its sign. So on the left-hand side, what I have is x. And on the right side, I had 11, but now I have minus 4. So x then is less than 7. Okay, x is less than 7. So let's see if this makes sense. If I put 7 where x is in my original equation, I'm going to have 7 plus 4 is 11, and 11 is less than 11. That would not work. But I'm not putting 7 there because my answer isn't x is equal to 7. It's saying x is less than 7. And any number that is less than 7, once you add it to 4, the sum will be less than 11. Therefore, my answer is correct. But what does it look like on the number line? What does it look like on the number line? Well, if I say this is where 0 is, and I say this is where 7 is, okay? So everything on this side going down this way, not including 7. Not including 7. If it included 7, I would put a hard dot there. It would look something like this. Okay, because there's a circle there, it means it's starting there, but not including that. And the fact that it's going left means it's less than. And the fact that there is an arrow means it's going any number, even into the negatives. Okay, so this is what it would look like on the number line. Now let's try another one. Again, if this was an equal sign, the same principles apply. What I want to do here is I want to get x by itself. So what I have to do is I have to get rid of this coefficient, which is 3. So I have to divide by 3. But if I do that on the left-hand side, I've got to do it on the right-hand side. So the 3's cancel on the left-hand side. I knew that. That's why I divided by 3. So x is greater than 2 is my answer. Again, if you put 2 here where x was, you would get 3 times 2 is 6. 6 isn't greater than 6. But I didn't say that x is equal to 2. I said x is greater than 2. Any number greater than 2, once multiplied by 3, the product will be greater than 6. Here's when you might want to pause and try for yourself. Just keep in mind you've worked problems like this before with the equal sign. All right, it's going to be very similar, if not the same. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of this constant. I'm going to transpose it, which means I'm going to take it and bring it over here, which means it's going to change its sign from a negative to a positive. So on my left-hand side, I'm going to have 2x is greater than 12. That's what's already there, plus 2. So 2x then is greater than 14. Am I finished? No, I'm not. I got to get rid of this coefficient of 2, so I've got to divide by 2. But if I do that on the left-hand side, I've got to do it on the right-hand side. So these cancel. And I'm left with x is greater than 7. Okay. All good so far. You see the similarities. We're not doing anything different. There's just one special case where, in fact, we will do something different. All right. All right. So here we go. Slightly different problem again, but inequality. So what we want to do here is we want to group. Remember grouping, right? So we want to get the y's on a side by itself. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this one, the 2y, over here. Now I don't have to do that. I could take this y over here and take this 3 over here. But for the purpose that I want to demonstrate in this problem, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this and put it on the side with the other y, which is the left side, leaving the 3 on the side by itself. So over here on the right side, this 2y is positive. So when I move it over here, it's going to be negative. So y over 2 was already there. And now I have a negative 2y is less than 3. 3 is left by itself. Now I have to remember tricks of the trade that I learned. I have a fraction and its denominator is 2. So to get rid of this fraction, because I don't want a fraction, I need to multiply by its denominator, which is 2. So I'm multiplying the left side, not just this fraction here, the entire left side. And if I do that, then I must do it on the right-hand side as well. Okay. So what I know so far is that on the right-hand side, I'm going to have 6. I also know that when I multiply 2 by y over 2, I'm going to be left with just y because the 2's will cancel. That's why I did it, to get rid of the fraction. But remember, I can't forget, this 2 has been multiplied also by this minus 2y. And that's going to give me minus 4y. Okay, so I'm doing 2 multiplied by a minus 2y. And that gives me minus 4y. So that's what's going on here. Now, y minus 4y is really 1y minus 4y. That's what we really have here. So it's 1 minus 4, and that's a minus 3. So this is minus 3y. This is just on the side. So from here, what I get is minus 3y is less than 6. Now we should be great so far. I want you to pay very close attention now. We know what to do here. There is a minus 3 in front of my y, so that's my coefficient. So I've got to divide both sides by minus 3. So I'm going to divide by minus 3 here and divide by minus 3 here. These cancel. That's the reason I chose it, right? So now this is y. Now, here's the important thing, and I need you to learn here. Whenever we divide by a negative number across an inequality sign, meaning we divided here and here, right, to cross the inequality sign, we change the inequality to the opposite side. So this less than is now greater than, and this now is negative 2. 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. And that's my answer. Now let me go over that one more time. Let's go back a couple steps. When I was here at this point, I had minus 3. Let's put it over here. At minus 3y is less than 6. We want to divide both sides by minus 3 to get rid of this minus 3. So now I'm going to cross the inequality sign and divide by minus 3. By virtue of crossing the inequality sign and dividing by a negative number, this changes, this flips. Okay? So this becomes y, and this becomes negative 2. So this is a rule in inequalities. Okay? You don't want to forget that. So grab your notes. Let's try one more. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to take the 2 that I have and bring it over on the right-hand side. So I'm going to have minus 14x is less than 14 minus 2. This becomes minus because the 2 was on the left-hand side, it was positive. I transpose it, it becomes negative. So I have minus 14x is less than 12. Now I'm going to divide both sides by minus 14 because minus 14 is the coefficient of my variable. So I divide by minus 14. So these cancel. So x then is greater than. Notice it's greater than. This switched because I divided by a negative number across it. Right? And this now becomes negative 6/7. 12 over 14. 2 can go into 12 6 times. 2 can go into 14 7 times. Hence, I can reduce that to negative 6/7. And that's my answer. So this is going to take some practice to get used to, but you can't forget when we're dividing across an inequality by a negative number, we have to switch the inequality. All right, and here we go. Here are some practice problems. Here are some practice problems before you move on to your assessment. Here, what you should get is x is greater than 5. Here you should get x is greater than 18. And here you should get x is less than negative 2. All right, so you want to get that down. Practice that before you take your assessment. We have 1 unit to go, but we've come to the end of this one. All right, I will see you in Unit 5.